doing some night hiking. It's like cement. The Boundary Water Canoe Area is over 1 million acres of wilderness in the Superior National Forest in northeastern Minnesota. The Sioux-Hustler Trail is a 31-mile loop located in the BWCA, 1 hour northwest of the city of Ely. We are back on the trail. We are in the Boundary Water Canoe Area on the Sioux-Hustler Trail. I haven't been on the Boundary Waters Canoe Area hiking in a long time. There's a lot of trails up here. It isn't just canoeing. And I have with me my buddy Steven. This is a 31-mile loop. We're doing 2 nights, 3 days. It is pretty rustic. So, and as you can see, it's raining. But as the great philosopher Luke Bryan once said, rain makes corn, corn makes whiskey, and whiskey, hey, it makes my baby a little frisky. So rain is a good thing. Let's go. We've come across, geez, I got paparazzi out here. We've come across a beaver pond. Now we've heard about these beaver dams from watching YouTube and those sort of places where it can be some difficult walking. So we've just come upon it. It looks like the trail goes around it here, but I think we got to cross up here someplace, so we'll see what happens. On day 1, we hiked 14 miles through the rain and headed counterclockwise to Emerald Lake. 15-20 minutes. Rain is still coming down, but it's getting kind of hot with that hood on. But nice open area here, where probably be a little bit better view if it wasn't raining, but it's still very colorful in late September with the leaves turning up here. So that was the main reason why I wanted to come on this trip, is I've been seeing how the fall colors up in northern Minnesota were just ridiculously nice right now. So I wanted to come see them firsthand. Come along a waterfall here that's called Devil's Cascade. It's pretty cool here. It's still a very wet day out here today. But even when it's wet, you gotta stop and smell the roses. I don't think there's any roses.
Petunias.
Look at the waterfalls. I don't know. Maybe that should be your new trail name there, Steven.
Petunia?
Petunia. We haven't made it up to the split that actually gets to the loop. We're still on that 3-mile stretch going in. But you can see behind me here is a beaver dam with a beaver pond, and the trail skirts just on the other side of the dam there through some mud and a trail that's a little overgrown. It's not terrible, but you can see kind of this is where the trail came from. And we're circling around up through here. So it's been a little bit slow going just because it's super slippery with the rain. There was some rock hopping, a lot of mud. This trail is supposed to be relatively flat, and I think there are sections that are a little bit quicker than others. So I'm hoping that we can get to a quick spot here and make some good miles so we can get our 10 miles in today. This is the trail that we came from. There's Petunia. So if we go straight right here, we would be going clockwise, and we are opting to go this way, which is counterclockwise and has more options for campsites at the distance that we're hoping to hike to. So I guess we got to go that way. Walking along, and we came to a really cool spot here. We've just been walking along this rock, real flat, almost like a sidewalk, but it's real nice. Struggling here a little bit where I would usually set up my camera and do a cool looking walk by for you, but I think that original shot that I did for you with my camera in the rain might have got my camera too wet, and it's not working right now. So we'll see how it is when I get to the hammock, and if not, I'll just end up shooting the rest of the video here on my phone. To steal Steven's line, there's a lot of lichen around here, and we're liking the lichen. When you think of the Boundary Waters Canoe Area in northern Minnesota, you think of lakes particularly like the one that you see behind me here with, see the beautiful pine trees there. And it stopped raining.
Oh, buddy.
We've come to Little Shell Lake. It stopped raining for now. We heard a little bit of thunder, but took off our rain gear. Almost discovered a tragedy. My Doritos bag was popped open and my Doritos were getting wet. That might have been a trip killer right there.
Yeah, I was about to
losing the Doritos. But just a beautiful view here. All right, we huffed it down about a quarter mile from the main trail on a spur trail to the Agawado Lake. And as you can see, it's just beautiful. But it's somewhat early in the day, and this campsite is occupied already, so we're going to keep on going a few more miles before we camp out tonight. And yeah, things are drying out, so hopefully we'll be able to set up without it raining on us and stay dry. So what I didn't mention at the campsite there was, as I said, there was somebody else. There's a solo canoeer set up there, had a tent set up, rain fly over his fire pit and a nice fire going. And it was very clear, the vibe that we got when we walked in, that we weren't welcome there. So Steven said it before I did, but he's like, we sat there trying to make conversation with the guy, and he wasn't really having it. Steven's like, all right, you ready to go to the next campsite? I'm like, yeah. Well, it's almost 7:30, and we are doing some night hiking. We just broke out our headlamps here because it's getting too dark to hike without them. We think that we're getting close to the campsite here, but kind of hard to tell. We had a little snafu with navigating, so we had to go about probably an extra mile, but no worries. It's not raining. Kind of spooky. Hope we don't see any bears. Well, it's about 9:30. We got to the campsite, and the campsite was occupied by actually two different parties, but they allowed us to come in and camp. I am hanging my bear bag right now in the woods. Everybody went to bed, so I wanted to keep quiet there at camp. But yeah, it's a real small campsite on a beautiful lake. I think it's kind of dark, but we not an ideal hang. I have some real big rocks that I'm over the top of, so hopefully it doesn't get too windy tonight. But I got a nice hang for my food. You actually see down the trail here, everybody else has ursacks. Now I have an ursack, but I just chose not to use it because I'm trying to stay a little lighter. But one ursack, two ursacks. Some bear is attacking this ursack already. And a couple more ursacks right there. So anyway, it was a good day of hiking.
Oh, yeah.
Say good night, Steven.
Good night, Steven.
So everybody is awake now. These people were nice enough where they let us squeeze into their campsite last night.
You had to squeeze.
It was we were very close. Did I snore too bad?
No, thank you for being a
somebody
quiet sleeper.
I usually snore. So
I snored a little, but
yeah.
it wasn't bad.
It was the bear.
Good.
You're the bear.
For you?
I was snoring.
You're the bear.
I'm glad you're way over there then.
Oh,
Sound log
It didn't keep me awake. I was like, oh, someone's asleep.
I was really worried when they let us squeeze into the campsite, and we're literally about 10 feet away from them, that they wouldn't have liked my snoring.
I'm gonna tell my husband I was between two men.
Fancy
I'm
man.
going again next week. We're now friends.
So, Stephen, how far are we going to hike today?
Same or more. Or we're just going to finish the trail.
That's ambitious. Good luck.
We're not going to hike until dark today, though. So, probably about 15, right?
Yeah.
We did 13 and a half.
20, because it took us 13 and a half yesterday and then 7 to get to
So it's
Devil's
20 miles.
Cascade.
You can do
So
it.
Nice.
20 mile day.
Nice.
It's like 4 to 9 though.
You probably should have started 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again.
Yeah, thank you all.
Hey, nice to meet you
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
Forgot to mention, this lady right here has her own YouTube channel. And what's your channel?
It's Wandering Pine, or you can go to wanderingpine.com.
And she gave me a sticker.
I did!
Looks like her hat.
It looks like my hat.
On day 2, we hiked 13 miles, stopping at many lakes before settling in near Devil's Cascade. We just came across an outward bound group of I don't know, there's like 10 people there, and had a good chat. And that trail coming in, they're saying, is about 5.5 miles, not the 3 that we had thought of. But we came to a beaver dam here just to show you the sort of stuff that we're going through. You can see there's the beaver dam. We're on the lower side of it.
Water is at chest level, about.
Yeah. So this is where we need to walk up through. So kind of use the beaver dam for a path. All right, we walked just a little bit and we came to the Hustler Lake campsite, and it's pretty amazing. Where let me show you here. You have the beautiful lake down here. A lot of open space, a lot of trees. If you're a hammock guy, you could fit quite a few hammocks in here. Right on the lake, fire ring right down here, close to the lake. If it's not too windy, that would just be amazing to sit here with a campfire overlooking the lake. Next time. All right, Houston, we have a problem. We're crossing this boggy area. My foot slipped off a log, and that, my friends, is my knee in the mud. So now the challenge is getting my foot out of the mud and keeping my shoe on. Oh boy. It's like cement.
Yes, the shoe stayed on.
Okay, let's try to do this without falling in again.
Let's look at that shoe.
Mission accomplished. Woo! Walking along the trail here, and we came across a huge tree fall. Just a huge tree. You can see Steven there standing underneath it, and that thing's probably 3 feet in diameter. So I would imagine it's been there for a while, so I think it's safe to walk under. There are a lot of these old growth, huge pine trees here. It's pretty cool. It always gets my attention, even when I'm looking down at the ground, how red these leaves are out here. Just kind of looks like you're walking on rose petals or something. It's beautiful. Well, it turns out rain is not a good thing. That I'm memorializing my camera right now because my camera is now dead. May we have a moment of silence for my good old Canon. The rest of this trip is going to be on my phone. Oh well, new gear. Lake. And there's a nice little campsite here. You see the lake here. It's a real narrow lake. It almost looks like a river. Going from the side to side here. But a nice campsite. The fire pits in these campsites are legit. I mean, they have a nice grate over the top of them and they have rocks built around them like this. You can see some logs built up here for benches. Steven's over there filtering his water. We're gonna stay here and have some lunch, look at our maps, make a game plan for if we're gonna keep on hiking today or camp out here. Lunch today is a pepper jack summer sausage, a portion of it, and Doritos. Fabulous. Can't beat Doritos. And yes, you can go backpacking with Doritos. Steven over there is having a Mountain House lasagna with meat sauce. So we're having a pretty big lunch today. But hopefully it doesn't weigh us down and we don't get too lazy here. So I wish you could be here. It's just a beautiful, beautiful day now. It's supposed to rain a little bit later, but right now it's probably 55 degrees, sun's out, beautiful breeze, beautiful fall colors, a lot of pine trees, beautiful lake here in front of me. Walking along, saw our first evidence of moose up here. You'll see in the mud here. It looks fairly fresh. A nice moose track walking along the trail the same way that we're going. Yeah, we're about halfway. We decided after lunch there that, you know, it was only 12:45, 1 o'clock that we would walk the approximate 6 miles to the next campsite. And trail hasn't been too bad. There's been definitely a lot of beaver dams and some slippery areas, you know, but this is what the trails look like most of the time when it isn't muddy.
A bit easier on this side.
Yeah.
Yeah, less ups and downs.
Well, we got to that campsite that we were planning to go to, and there were some canoers in it already. Real nice guys. We were talking to them for a little while, but the one thing that I didn't know up here in the Boundary Waters, which most Boundary Waters people do know, is it's a first come, first serve. So it doesn't really say in the rules if you have to share your campsite. I'm just kind of learning from talking to people that I think it's kind of, you don't have to share. So we didn't really ask, but we walked down this portage trail looking for some spots to disperse camp. This portage trail goes up a big hill and down a big hill, going from one lake to the next. We checked one side and there really wasn't anything over there. I found a place up here kind of along the trail that we could disperse camp. Steven has walked down the portage trail here, checking down by the river to see if there's anything better down there. So I'm just sitting here. My legs are sore. I'm gonna wait for him to come up and give me a report of what it looks like down there. If nothing else, we can set up here, hopefully before dark tonight. Well, I've got my camp all set up not too far away from where I was sitting. It's not optimal, but see, it's just off a portage trail here, and Steven tells me technically you're supposed to not be able to see a tent from the trail when you're scattered site camping, but with a bridge hammock like this, it's very picky where you need a bigger span for your trees, and width-wise, it just takes a lot of space. We looked all over and over and over, and I couldn't find a good spot, so I took this one, even though it may, I don't know, be technically breaking a rule. Let me know if you come up in the Boundary Waters here a lot, but it's an hour away from sunset, and no, I don't think anybody's going to be coming along here tonight. I'm not too far away from where the other people are camping up there. He felt a little uncomfortable with that, but I mean, I'm going to go get water. I'm going to cook my dinner. I'm going to lay in my hammock. So this is probably the only time I'm going to be talking, and they can't hear me over here. So I'm going to walk down that way. Steven was, I think, going to walk down where there's some spots where I couldn't put my hammock, way down along this portage down by the other lake, and find a spot. So I'm going to go get my water and make some dinner. Up to go find Steven, and he found a great campsite. I'm happy for him, where I went to fit, but it's good for him. I am back at the Little Sioux River. So what we're looking at here is part of the river, and then there's the portage trail right here. You see the people are camping up there, their canoe. The portage goes up over a big hill and back down. I think it's to connect on the other side of the river here, where you know, it's rapids and where you can take a canoe or a kayak. So, but it's quite a portage up a big hill, and it's probably a good quarter mile, third of a mile over there. So the campsite's on top of the hill, right, kind of in the middle. So that's where they're camping. I guess they camped there last night too. But anyway, I'm just relaxing here, taking in the view, since the view here is a lot better than it is at my campsite along the trail. Peeps. So I'm all packed up. My backpack's ready to go up here. I walked down to find Steven, make sure he's okay. He's going to come up and meet me at the intersection up here of the main trail. This morning I woke up, I packed up, I walked over to that campsite because there's a really good overlook and sunrise there, and the three canoers and fishermen were there, and real nice guys, but one of them told me that he was disappointed that I camped so close to their site. And, you know, we had a little bit of a discussion, and, you know, up here, people try to get away from people, and the long hiking trails that I'm used to, you know, it's kind of the same way, but when it comes to a campsite, they're all shared, and here they are not, which I didn't really know that before I came. And it isn't that same culture of, hey, how you doing? And, you know, interacting with people once you're out here. It's kind of leave everybody alone, especially the canoers, I think. So hikers, I think, like to talk to each other when they're crossing paths, but yeah, so live and learn. And I really like this trail, but if I do come back again, you know, you got to finish hiking by 1 o'clock in the afternoon, lunchtime, if you plan to get a campsite, if it's on a weekend, and try to probably avoid the canoe sites because they tend to stay multiple nights and make a base camp. And obviously those good canoe sites will probably be taken. So a little bit of humble pie. Something I didn't know, but live and learn, right? After a rainy night, we enjoyed the sun on day 3 as we walked 6 miles back to our car. Morning, Steven. How are we doing today?
Wonderful, Jeremy. How are we doing?
Good, good. Beautiful out here. It's nice when it doesn't rain. It's still pretty darn wet, but it's nice to see that sun. We're on our way out. There's some argument to how many miles this Spur trail to the loop is. A guy yesterday said it was like 5. Everything online says 3. I'm believing more of the 5 because just knowing how fast we're walking and how long it took. So I gotta put this phone away before I fall in the beaver pond. We're getting pretty close to the car. This was probably one of the better lookouts of the whole trail. You can see there's just a nice rock face here, and nice autumn colors. You can see the birch behind me there. Just starting to turn yellow here. But yeah, this is a good trip. So like I said earlier, I think it could have been a little bit more well prepared. This was kind of a last minute trip. If you are going to come out here, you know, learn from my lesson of kind of giving other people out here a wider berth, especially canoers. And yeah, you can't hike too late in the day just in case you got to come up with a backup plan. Last night I was just exhausted, so looking for dispersed camping was not very fun. So yeah, it's good. Other thing I'd say is, you know, when you're out here, you are more remote, obviously, and yeah, you're not gonna have cell service. There are no trail markers, other than occasionally there's a Karen like this showing you the way. But the map that I printed off the internet would not have worked when I was out here. There's not enough detail. And I didn't have time to go to REI and get the detailed map. Steven has electronic map on his phone integrated with GPS, and that's the way to go, I think. That map wasn't, he had 2 different versions. One wasn't real great, but there's a lot of trails where you come to an intersection, you don't know which way to go, and the map probably wouldn't help out a whole lot. And having that GPS on your phone, you can walk 100 feet and see you're going the wrong way and backtrack. But yeah, this is a good trail. I'll come out again with a better game plan, better prepared. But you know, maybe more sitting around camp than doing high miles and coming into camp late. So anyway, if you like this video, hit subscribe. Don't forget that bell notification. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram. Watch those ads, because I need some income, because I'm going to go buy an $800 camera, and any money I make off of this channel, which isn't very much, I use towards those sort of things. So thanks for watching. We'll see you on the trail. We are in the where the f are we?
Boundary Water Canoe Area.
There we go. Think of the Boundary Waters. When you think of the Boundary Waters, so long, walking along.
At Anchor Lake.